Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. It is March 22nd, 2021. Let's get into it. The man, the mountain of a man, standing 6'6", a Dallas Cowboys super fan, loving the Arkansas Razorbacks. And if you're under 6 foot, he's gonna put his arm on your shoulder as a leaning device. Everybody, welcome in Mr. Wes Washington. Everybody, yes, sir.
What up, Paul?
Hey, Wes,
What up, man?
how you doing, brother?
Good, man. It's been an exciting tournament, man. Just been great to watch. I know a lot of people are upset about Texas losing, but man, it was crazy to watch it unfold. Also, Ohio State ruined my bracket, but that was I don't know. That's why I enjoy the tournament is that the little guys have a chance to beat the big schools. And
Yeah,
college football, you really don't get that chance.
no doubt. Hey, Wes, before we get into the March Madness, I want the people to meet you. I want the people to meet the guy who has a dope Facebook account, the stuff you put up, that 80s nostalgic posts that are on there, pushing people's buttons. I saw you have that during the break. I saw you have that Arkansas Razorback tumbler, man. What are you sipping on there? What are you drinking tonight?
Just I'm still recovering from my celebration of last night, so it was just water.
Hey, so I see you in the gym. I see Fox 7 trying to capture your workout tips, man. Did you know you were being, on camera, or did they do that without you knowing, and you're trying to collect some royalties off that footage?
Well, I knew they were in the gym because I saw them when I walked in, but the footage they actually showed, I didn't know she was filming me then, because that's like that's the worst part of my workout is doing the tire because it's towards the end and I'm tired and mad at the world by then. So, but yeah, I didn't know that was happening.
So you're saying she was creeping on you? The videographer was creeping on you?
She was creeping on a lot of people.
Oh.
I thought she was gonna you know how they do that thing when they talk about the obese people and they cut their heads off. So I thought that's what she was gonna do because she was just getting out, and she never really talked to anybody else except for like the workers.
Uh-huh.
And I think two other people, but she was just going around getting I guess what they call it, B-roll or something like that,
Yeah.
and just filming people working out. And I I don't make the good thing about me wearing a mask is that I don't make good faces when I'm working out.
Ah, okay, all right. So Wes, you're very. I tell people this a lot when I describe you. I go, look, Wes is like hypercritical of the Dallas Cowboys, but he's extremely fair. Is your affection for the Arkansas Razorbacks leading to the love for the Dallas Cowboys? And how did you become a super fan? If you can't tell, Wes is a super fan for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Maybe you can't see or anything, but how did you become a Arkansas Razorback super fan, as well as a very vocal voice to kind of be critical of Dallas as well?
Well, Dallas Cowboys, that was a thing from birth. You know, that's one of the few things I was young, but that's like one of the things I remember of my dad was watching Dallas Cowboys, and Tony Dorsett, Tony Hill. That was just I fell in love then, and just I still battle. And, like everybody's like, well, how do you like the Dallas Cowboys because of Jerry Jones? Like, well, Jerry Jones, yeah, he's the owner, but he's not the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas
Right.
Cowboys were something before Jerry Jones was there, and so I always been a fan. Just coincidence that Jerry and Jimmy went to Arkansas, but my the reason I fell in love with Arkansas is because as a kid growing up, I wanted to be Todd Day.
Okay.
Uh, I was kind of built like Todd Day, long, thin, and I just loved the way Nolan Richardson played basketball. 40 minutes of hell, just getting up and down. So it was just I fell in love with Arkansas basketball, and then just I went with all the sports. It was exciting to watch.
Did you play at Arkansas?
So what?
Did you play basketball at Arkansas?
No, that was the dream. I was gonna try to go to junior college and then possibly transfer to Arkansas, but like it was basically my last chance U situation, and I went the wrong way. Instead of going to Arkansas. But I still love the game of basketball, and that's why I've been given almost a second chance here later on in life with Ball Hard,
Right, right.
uh, COVID hit, and I got a chance because my friends have been asking me to help train their kids in basketball for a long time, but I was always working full-time jobs. And so when COVID hit, I didn't have any more excuses. So I went out and started helping a couple of my friends' kids with basketball. And then a friend of mine, an ex-teammate, was like, hey, I introduced you to Sean Hartman, and he's got building
Wow.
this basketball facility, and I think it'd be good for you. And I went over there, and I fell in love the first night, and I'm the type of person I'll teach a 6-year-old just how to dribble for an hour.
So you're starting to do that now, like you're being like, you know, are we watching the birth of the premier basketball private coach in Austin, Texas now? Is that what we're watching here?
I mean that's the dream, but with the program, I think Sean is going to be more like the guy that's going to be helping because I think he's had Greg Brown in there. He's
Yeah.
had
Shout out
a
GB3.
few other big college stars come through there. But me, I'm more the kid that's starting off. I'll teach the kids how to catch the ball. Just to dribble, just to practice on their form. Uh, that's kind of my thing. A lot of times when you get those older kids, they already know more than you, and they probably do because the game of basketball has changed so much. Now, don't get me started on the things they do in college basketball that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of drills in training, not only in basketball but football. You're like, this is not a sports. This is not a sports specific activity here. Why the hell are you doing it? But I mean, thank you very much for doing that and giving back to the community. And I'm pretty sure that entrepreneurial spirit is going to be definitely pulling out whenever you're moving forward and helping out your buddy there at the training facility. But where do you see that going for you? Do you think maybe you get on with a high school, or do you maybe find maybe one of the local colleges to jump on the staff? What's that looking like?
I mean, for me right now, I'm focused on uh, just getting in the gym and working with the kids. Later in life, if something like that happens, I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But as of right now, I just really want to work with kids and play basketball, man. It's just it's fun for me to be in the gym, dribbling the ball, shooting the rock, passing the ball. I was in the gym one night with just a guy. All I did was passing the ball, and he just shot it for an hour, and it was a good time for me.
So who's going to be passing the ball for the Arkansas Razorbacks to put this W over? What's this? Oral Roberts, who busting people's brackets against first round against Ohio State. Who's going to be taking over this game? Because look, I watched that Texas Tech Arkansas game, and I thought Tech was going to come back. Just to be really honest with you, but Arkansas was, I think, mentally strong, and their head coach, man, that guy is so driven that he kind of like willed them to like stay calm. We're going to get through this. Never mind that BS call that they just made on our team with like a minute left, and they pulled through the W for the Razorbacks. Who's the guy that's got to get it done next Saturday to get that W over Oral Roberts?
I mean, of course, the leading star is going to be Moses Moody. But I think that the rest of the team has stepped up and hit some big shots. I think Williams just came in the center. He had made a lot of great plays. Norte is another guy to watch. They've had people step up. Vanover is kind of moved to the background. He was a difficult kid to match up with. He's 7'3" and he can shoot threes. But come tournament time, you never know when you're going to get those unlikely heroes if you have a good squad. If you have a good squad, other guys should step up at other times. And hopefully, they can get past Oral Roberts. And I think that would be a matchup for Baylor to go to the Final Four, I believe, right?
Elite Eight after that.
Well, let's not say that Baylor's already going to win. I mean, we're already seeing teams fall all over the place. I mean,
now we see a lot of great competition in the SEC with football. Like right now, LSU, I believe, is down 58, or they're up 58-55 over Michigan. Alabama is going to be playing next week. I go, what is it about these teams like LSU, Arkansas, Alabama, where they can kind of compete in both major sports and on the men's side with football and basketball? Like, is that something that's just, is that recruiting? For us in recon, like we do really good for the football. We really haven't dabbled into basketball yet. But what is it that makes a squad so significant to have success at the men's basketball level for like these SEC schools?
And before I get started, don't forget about baseball. The SEC is really tough in baseball. They
LSU, Vanderbilt, yeah.
And my Hogs are number one right now. So I think it's keeping the talent in state is a big deal, especially with Arkansas. You know, that was the problem with Mike Anderson. He wasn't keeping that talent in state. You know, we lost Marcus Monk to Kentucky. That was a real big deal. So right now they've been trying to keep that talent in Arkansas, and it's paying off. You know, and if schools, a lot of schools, if they can keep their talent in, you know, in state, especially with Texas. I mean, Texas football. No, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, but if Texas football keeps their talent in state, who could play with UT?
Nobody could. No, nobody could.
I mean, I don't see why. I mean, if you look at it, UT's pass in the quarterback, you see all these quarterbacks in the NFL, and where are they from?
Texas.
Yeah. How many played at UT?
None of them.
Colt McCoy.
Yeah, I don't think he may be a backup to Fitzmagic in the Washington football team, but look, we're seeing that progression right now. If we'll just dabble real quick into the recruiting, the number one recruit of the 22 class, Quinn Ewers, is already committed to Ohio State. Caleb Burton, the receiver out of Del Valley, formerly of Del Valley, he'll be announcing where he's going to go, but he's already committed to Ohio State. Dabo Swinney comes in out of Clemson and takes Cade Klubnik right out of Westlake. Meanwhile, in the middle of all that, Steve Sarkisian wants to go get Malik Murphy out of California. And it's like, look, you got 5-star kids in Texas at quarterback. Why are you going to California to get them? I'm sure you have your connection ties with USC. But, geez, if Dabo thinks, you know, the guy who just won a national championship most recently outside of Nick Saban thinks this kid from Westlake should be on his team, I mean, what's going on there? Those are the questions that will be answered in the future. I mean, you just talked about it, and I don't mind ruffling up feathers here on the Paul Rodriguez show, but who's going to do it?
And Clemson's turned into QBU. I mean, you look at back to Deshaun Watson,
Trevor Lawrence.
And then that kid that they brought in to replace what's the golden boy, Mr. Jesus and Pads. What's his name? I'm
you talking about the Samoan kid?
No, the number one pick coming out of this year in the NFL for Clemson, current quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. And then, but the kid that came in for him, he's going to be a stud. So they're going to be good for another couple of years. So, I mean, it's some guys that just can pick out quarterbacks and they can also develop them.
There you go. You said the right word right there. Develop them.
Yeah. So it's a new coach at UT. Is he going to be able to develop the talent? That's like they have a lot of talent to come in. It's the same thing in basketball. Like you saw, coming out of high school, a lot I heard about basketball was Cade Cunningham, Greg Brown. I heard a lot about them. But as the season went on, I saw Cade Cunningham, and I mean, yeah, they lost, but in crunch time, who was on the floor? Cade Cunningham. In crunch time, did you see any Greg Brown? I don't remember Greg Brown playing in the second half of that game the other night. So I mean, is that on Shaka? Is that on? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he didn't have the gas for the length of the season coming off of a high school campaign previously. But I want to get back to your Razorbacks.
Okay.
Who's are they making the final? Are they going to win this title?
Man,
do you want that nervousness? Do you want that?
Of course, I'm hoping they are, and but it's a tough field. Especially once you might look at Oral Roberts and say, they're not up there talent wise, but obviously they're doing something right. So of course I want them to do it, but it's going to be a tough road, and but also it's never easy. So
No.
it's I think they can do it. I think if they're knocking down shots at a decent rate, I think they can play with anybody because they defend pretty good. They really well. They play quick. That's and then that might be something that backfires on them because Baylor, they play quick. Gonzaga, they play quick. So I think, but it's going to be exciting to watch either way it goes with the teams that are left.
So if they get the W Saturday night and Baylor does as well, that's going to be the Elite Eight matchup between those two schools. Very high profile schools. People are talking about Baylor winning it all. So is Gonzaga. But if Arkansas can get past Baylor, do you think that is that the qualifier to put them into the final in your bracket?
Oh yeah. If they can play with Baylor and beat Baylor, I definitely give them a great shot at beating Gonzaga. I think I know Gonzaga, they're deep, but I don't know if they've been tested yet. I don't know if they've had to go into crunch time and be down and have to make some plays to get back in the game or to set up and run a play to win a game. I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen that yet. I mean, I could be mistaken. I haven't watched all the games because it's been kind of tough to watch games. I think the couple of times they were supposed to be tested in the preseason, they got games got canceled because of COVID. But I don't think they got tested in the conference. I think the closest person was BYU, maybe?
Yeah. Wes, I appreciate your time tonight. We don't want to take up too much of your time, but I always ask this of my guests, and I just want to make sure that we give you your due time as well. What would you like to leave the people with who are currently watching and will be watching in the future? What message do you have for them tonight?
Oh, about the Hogs or just in general?
Hey, anything, everything.
I just the way things are going this way, I'm just gonna, it's like the guy for the Family Guy. What really grinds my gears?
Yeah.
It's the flop mentality of the basketball now that LeBron James has brought, and I saw it so many times in that game. I even saw it from Arkansas players, and it's just that little touch. Oh, and it's killing me. And then the other thing is, I'm tired of seeing games that teams are down by 1 and they pull up for 3, or they're down by 2 and they pull up for 3. At least last night I gave it to Tech. The guy went in and tried to get a layup. At least he tried to do that. But I don't understand it. I don't understand it. How do coaches not in the huddle draw up a play? Are they drawing up plays and the players aren't doing it? I don't know. And it's just, don't get me started. I'll end it right there.
All right. So, Wes, I think we're going to start giving you the new nickname, the Small Fundamental, as a respect to the way you're trying to bring up these young people. Tim Duncan is the fundamental. You being 6'6", we're going to call you the Small Fundamental. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wes Washington, everybody.
Thank you.
Wes, thank you.
Me,
hey, my pleasure, Brad. We'll talk to you real soon. Thank you.
All right, man. Peace out.
Yes, sir. Man, what a fun time, man. It was a good conversation with Wes. Yeah, man, that LeBron mentality for picking up flops.